Hey everybody, Christopher Moonlight here, director of the Quantum Terror and host of the Practical Effects podcast show, The Practical People, along with my friend here, the Jabberwocky. So if you're watching this on Instagram, you can watch this full video on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Moonlight Art Magazine, or just search Christopher Moonlight. Bullet points for this video update are going to be my thoughts on the other Lovecraftian Indiegogo funded film, The Void. I thought it was very good, and I'm going to elaborate a bit about that. The addition of makeup effects groups Paul Catty to our effects team. He's pitching in, and some more updates about the Quantum Terror, and me going on to Patreon. So at this point, the video will cut off if you're on Instagram, or just keep watching if you're on YouTube. All right, here we go. So that's past the minute mark for Instagram. Thank you for joining me. So like I said, right now I'm in the middle of editing the Quantum Terror. It's going very well. We've locked edit on the first half, working on the second half, working on visual effects, working on sound effects, working on music. Derek Hunt is doing an amazing job with the sound editing and the music, so I'm very happy about that. Paul Catty, who, like I said, is co-founder of the Aussie special effects, practical effects company, Makeup Effects Group. They worked on The Matrix, The Hobbit, I, Frankenstein, Sci-Fi Channel's Childhood's End, which is based on the Arthur C. Clarke book. That's very good. They've done a lot of cool stuff, and I'm going to be having them as guests on the second season, the first episode of the second season of my podcast show, The Practical People. So you imagine I've been doing a lot of work with Paul. He's a good friend, good guy. So anyway, he's going to not be lending in some practical effects work, but helping with some visual effects work. He's very talented in that department as well. So anyway, but I'm very excited about that. That means, wow, I've got two major effects studios pitching in to help with this micro-budget film of mine, The Quantum Terror. Studio ADI and Makeup Effects Group. So how lucky am I? I'm super lucky. But anyway, going on to The Practical People, yes, there's going to be a second season of The Practical People. I'm very excited about that as well. I'm going to start with an interview with Makeup Effects Group, and we're going to talk about, actually, if you're an independent filmmaker, how you can get a major effects studio to do effects for your movie. You know, people look at these studios and think, oh, that's only major motion pictures. But no, they work on low budget stuff as well. And there's a certain way of going about approaching them, and what you need to know when doing so. So we're going to talk about that. It's going to be kind of like one of the highlights of the episode. Anyway, I'm very excited about that. I'm also going to be starting a Patreon. I'm still looking into that, but a lot of people are on Patreon now. And I want to know your advice about Patreon, because I want to continue doing shows like The Practical People and maybe some tutorials and producing some other content that I know I've got a lot of followers who enjoy this stuff. And I enjoy doing it too. It's what I live for. I'm very excited about it. But I'm also, you know, I've got to go get a job. That's the crux of it. I'm moving to California in July. I've been looking for a job. I have some movie making opportunities out there, and I can't pass those up. But a lot of people think, well, movie making opportunities equals lots of money, job. No, I'm not able to sustain myself off of those yet. They're just great opportunities in the step ladder going up to accomplishing this as a career. But in the meantime, I either have to get a job or I have to find a way to make this stuff make money. So it's one or the other, or at least not as much of one if I keep on going with the other. So, you know, if I'm going to keep creating content for The Practical People and all that stuff, I need to make it make money, or I need to slow it down and get a job. So you guys can maybe help me figure out which one that is. Or, you know, maybe you have a company and you want me to come work for you and do what I do, pre-production, social media, whatever. I'm actually pretty good at this stuff, if I do say so myself. Anyway, that's enough of that. And by the way, I'm going to be posting on on the quantumterror.blogspot.com all of this information in text form. So if you get tired of this video, just go to the quantumterror.blogspot.com and you can read this in bullet points as well instead of me just rambling amongst trash and monsters. This actually does have to do with what I'm working on at the moment. I'm not just laying in trash. But anyway, so another thing came up is last night I saw the practical effects driven Lovecraftian film funded on Indiegogo that is not the Quantum Terror, which is The Void, and I enjoyed it. And I want to address something about it that I think is kind of important to the Quantum Terror, which is The Void and the Quantum Terror actually tackle some very similar Lovecraftian tropes. Some of the things I saw in The Void last night are things that are very similar to things we shot for the Quantum Terror. And I'm thinking like, oh God, people are going to watch this movie and then they're going to watch my movie and they're going to say, well, Christopher's just ripping off The Void. But I've been working on this movie for the last 2 years and I only just saw The Void. So I guarantee you I'm not ripping off The Void. I can also assure you that The Void and the Quantum Terror are very different movies despite their similarities. The Void takes a lot of Lovecraftian tropes and puts them up front and center, where I take those same tropes and actually kind of reverse them and put them in the background kind of to prop up a different kind of story that I want to tell. So there's going to obviously be a lot of monsters and a lot of Lovecraftian cosmic horror type themes, but it is going to be different than The Void. I do hope they can kind of sit on a DVD shelf side by side as kind of two very different takes on similar themes. But I wanted to address that before anyone kind of questioned that or got the chance to question that. So, what else? There was something else I was going to say about The Void. But see it, watch it. Definitely. I don't consider this movie in competition with the Quantum Terror. I would hope not. They have much higher production value than the Quantum Terror. Quantum Terror is a much smaller story in the scheme of things, but you know, we did very well. I hope the people that made The Void will watch Quantum Terror and enjoy that too. So congratulations to The Void. And there's so much more I could talk about. There's so much more I want to share with you, which I can't right now. But I want to say thank you, everyone, for supporting me. Again, if you have suggestions about what my Patreon should include, maybe prints of some of my Lovecraftian artwork or other artwork, maybe some reproductions of monsters that are in the Quantum Terror or other Lovecraftian creations, you tell me, and I will see if I can make that happen. I'd really like to. And thank you, everyone, for your support, and I will be updating again soon, hopefully with a release date for the Quantum Terror. Again, this is Christopher Moonlight, director of the Quantum Terror, host of The Practical People, and I hope to be seeing you all soon.